You ever see an influencer build their whole brand on one thing, only to turn around and completely contradict themselves? Yeah, welcome to the absolute disaster that is Clara Dao's reputation right now. For years, she was the internet's golden child of body positivity, preaching self-love, embracing your natural beauty, and rejecting toxic beauty standards. She told her millions of followers to love themselves just as they are. But recently, that entire image came crashing down like a Jenga tower in an earthquake. Comment sections are in flames, and Clara Dao's once loved audience is now calling her out for being a massive hypocrite. So, what exactly did she do to deserve this level of backlash? Was it one bad take, a huge contradiction, or did she accidentally expose her whole brand as a facade? Well, buckle up, because this is the story of how Clara Dao destroyed her own reputation. And trust me, by the end of this, you'll see exactly why the internet has turned against her. Also, please note, this may be a sensitive topic for some. So, if you've spent even 5 minutes on YouTube Shorts or TikTok, you've probably come across Clara Dao. She built a massive audience by promoting self-love, rejecting unrealistic beauty standards, and encouraging people, especially young girls, to embrace their natural body shape. And honestly, it was refreshing. In a world where influencers constantly push diets, workouts, and plastic surgery, Clara's message was all about accepting yourself as you are. She became a role model. Some people could turn to her for reassurance when they felt insecure. Her content covered everything: skinny shaming, self-confidence, relationships, and breaking down beauty standards. If you were feeling bad about your body, Clara was the person you went to for comfort. She made people feel seen, and for a long time, she had nothing but love and respect from her audience. But as we've learned with so many influencers, the internet has a way of uncovering the truth, and Clara's truth, not so body positive after all. At first, the criticism was minor. Some people started pointing out that Clara's entire personality seemed to revolve around being skinny, like every single video. If you scroll through her TikTok page, it was just post after post about how she's naturally thin, how she doesn't gain weight, and how she had to deal with skinny shaming. Which, fair enough, body shaming in any form is bad. But it got to a point where even her own fans were like, okay, we got it. People started leaving comments like, bro, we understand, you have a flat chest, move on. And we've been watching you for years, and it's the same topic every single time. So at first, Clara just brushed it off, but then she posted the video. The one that made everything unravel. The title alone was enough to make people do a double take. Habits that keep me skinny, no diet needed. And yeah, that did not sit right with her audience. For years, Clara had been telling people she was just naturally thin.
I'm a naturally skinny person. I have never gained weight since my adult life.
But suddenly she's dropping a list of habits that keep her skinny, meaning she's actively maintaining her weight, not just existing in her natural state. So in most cases, people wouldn't think any more of this, but due to her whole image and the message she portrays, something wasn't adding up. And then came the actual advice. Her first tip: she doesn't eat unless she's hungry.
I don't eat when I'm not hungry, and I only eat when I'm like really hungry. I often don't remember to eat unless I really feel it in my stomach. I'm like, oh my god, I'm hungry. And then I realize that, oh, it's like 7 p.m. and I haven't eaten anything all day.
Like she just forgets to eat all day and only realizes she's starving at 7 p.m. And she's encouraging her audience to do the same. What? So to be skinny and so-called healthy, I must just starve myself every day, depriving my body of the nutrition it needs? No thanks. This is the exact opposite of body positivity. This isn't self-love, this is diet culture disguised as empowerment. And so the internet immediately called her out for it. And no, this wasn't just your standard intermittent fasting or anything like that. She was just starving herself to stay skinny. So the backlash was instant, and her comment section exploded with fans calling her out with comments like, "Wait, so you're not naturally skinny, you're just starving yourself," or "I used to look up to her, but this is honestly disappointing," and "How is this not just glorified restrictive eating?" Even on Instagram, where influencers usually have a more curated audience, people were not holding back. The hypocrisy was too obvious to ignore. So as this went on, people weren't just mad, they felt betrayed. For years, Clara positioned herself as someone against toxic beauty standards, only to turn around and push the same toxic advice she claimed to be fighting against. Some fans even went back and rewatched old content, trying to figure out if she had been hinting at this behavior all along. And sure enough, they found past videos where she casually mentioned forgetting to eat or preferring light meals, without ever acknowledging the dangerous implications. Suddenly, everything started to click for viewers who had previously defended her. So instead of apologizing, Clara tried to double down, saying she wasn't promoting restrictive eating, just listening to her body and educating herself on health and nutrition. So yeah, I'm not too sure what book she's reading, because even a quick Google search could tell you that starving yourself and skipping meals all day, every day, is not the key to health. And then the cherry on top. This whole time, she claimed she just had a fast metabolism, while literally admitting she actually just starves herself, which is kind of like saying you're naturally rich while actively robbing a bank. But Clara wasn't done contradicting herself. You ever notice how some influencers preach self-love until there's a paycheck involved? Well, turns out Clara Dao might be one of them. While she spent years telling her audience to embrace their natural bodies, she's now out here pushing beauty products and services that conveniently help enhance appearances. So self-love unless there's money to be made? The irony is just insane. Imagine a dentist telling you not to eat sugar while munching on a Snickers bar. That's Clara Dao's brand of body positivity. Just another influencer cashing in on a movement she supposedly stands for. And here's the thing, body positivity is supposed to be about all body types, right? Well, critics have pointed out that Clara's content mostly features people who already fit conventional beauty standards. It's kind of like throwing a vegan festival and then only serving steak. Doesn't really make sense. The message she's pushing feels a little too curated, a little too polished, and maybe not as inclusive as she claims. And honestly, at that point, is it even body positivity or just aesthetic marketing with a feel-good label slapped on top? Because one day Clara's telling her audience you're perfect the way you are, the next she's promoting beauty treatments that subtly imply, well, maybe you're not so perfect after all. I mean, come on, how do you expect people to take your message seriously when you're playing both sides? You gotta pick a lane. This back and forth confused, frustrated, and ultimately alienated her audience, leaving them wondering if her message was ever about empowerment or just business. So, is there any coming back from this? Well, it's not looking good. Her audience isn't just upset, they feel lied to. And once that trust is broken, it's almost impossible to get back. At this point, she pretty much has two options. Own up to it, no more excuses, no more "you guys misunderstood." Just a real genuine apology. Or double down and fade into irrelevance, because right now the only thing keeping her name in the conversation is the controversy. Either way, this is a masterclass in how to destroy your brand in record time. So what do you guys think? Was Clara Dao being called out justified, or is this all being blown out of proportion? Drop your thoughts in the comments. So until next time, stay skeptical, stay entertained, and maybe don't take health advice from influencers who forget to eat.